My name is Richard Lucas. I was a speaker at last year's TEDx Krakow, and I'm involved in the organisation committee, both last year and this. For me, the point of TEDx Krakow is to do a local version of the global TED phenomenon. It's a great opportunity to get together with like-minded people, to listen to ideas and hear about projects you won't have heard about elsewhere, to meet interesting, dynamic people, and to spend a day doing things much more attractive and interesting than the average day in your life. Why should you try and get a place at TEDx Krakow? Well, I can just speak personally. My story is that I've lived in Krakow for 20 years. I know there are lots of dynamic, interesting people here, and I know that I don't know who all of them are. For me, TEDx Krakow is a route to uncovering the most active, interesting, optimistic, forward-looking, modern people in town. The best thing about TEDx Krakow? Well, for me, the best thing about TEDx Krakow is undoubtedly the fact that it expands my mind, it expands my experience of life. You can have interesting experiences anywhere, but TEDx puts you together with other people who very often are interested in exactly the same thing, to make their life more valuable. What did TEDx Krakow mean to me? TEDx Krakow meant to me that it's possible to do things well at a local level. It's possible to bring ideas from outside and do a local version at a high level. Of course, we could have done it better, and we will do it better. But hats off to the person who took the lead, and to the rest of the committee, and to the people who showed up for doing something for the first time well in Krakow. We had speakers from North America, speakers from Western Europe, local speakers, people who've done things which we'd never seen before. And for me, TEDx Krakow is certainly one of the things that I was most proud to be associated with in 2010. Why did I speak? I spoke about a project I run, a global project promoting an unknown historical figure, Wojtek Niedźwiedź, that I run on Facebook globally. I spoke about it because I think it's interesting and it's important to realize that modern technology facilitates action-orientated projects and make it possible to run them at almost no or at zero budget. We live in a time where government budgets are under tremendous pressure, and very often NGOs and other organizations that want to change the world spend far too much of their time looking for resources, when, from my perspective, the missing resource for almost everyone is energy, not money. With energy and modern technology, you can do almost anything. And I believe the talk I gave illustrated a small example of how a group of people scattered around the world can do a great deal with very little. Who shouldn't show up to TEDx Krakow? This is a good question, because the sort of people who shouldn't show up are the sort of people who don't believe that tomorrow can be better than today, the sort of people who don't believe that the world is getting better, the sort of people who see the negative rather than the positive in the world we live in. TEDx Krakow is not a place for pessimists. It's not a place for people who say, nie da się, you can't do that. It's not a place for people who believe in their own ability with others to change the world. Conversely, of course, if you're open-minded, positive, full of energy, and you're looking for like-minded people, TEDx Krakow is exactly the place you're going to find them.